All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 4 p.m. West Coast time, 1 p.m. on the Hawaii side. And let's see here. I'm thinking it's 7 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. for our Central Time folk. Today is a little hemajang. Pocola T, does anyone else hear the sound of furniture moving? Good ear, my friend. Good ear. Yes, indeedy. Gina, good to see you. Asking, how are you doing? I know you're not asking me. You are asking Elaine and Pocola T. Pocola T, thank you so much for subscribing. And everybody else who might be here right now. How am I doing? You know, let's just say you did hear furniture moving. You heard the studio collapsing in on me. And then as that happened, I turned and knocked my microphone over. And from there, we have now. So, yeah, I was struggling with the backdrop. It kept showing things I didn't want. I don't know. I've put up that backdrop, I can't tell you how many times. Why this time I couldn't get the geometry right, I don't know. But it was not happening at all. So, it's a darn good thing that most of this broadcast today will be brought to you by the StatterBox Crew. And you'll see what I'm saying once I show you what we've got to offer today. But before that, well, let's get this party started, I guess. All right, the cat staring at me with those green eyes of judgment. Why aren't you more together, lady? Well, I'll tell you why I'm not more together, lady. Ladies and gents and everyone in betweens. I'm not very together because today I decided to splurge and watch some Photo Luke Hawaii, who came on a little bit later. Terry in Scotland. Wait, why are you here? Terry, is Terry here? Are we having a... What, hold on. What just happened? Okay, so it looks like maybe we got some raids and we've got a hype train that might be happening, which is really weird, although that might be because Terry subscribed and because Pocola T subscribed. And let's see here. I'm looking at, looks like Stream Elements is telling me that the Vampires is following us. Amazing. Following for the amazing hair. Oh, that is so sweet, Vampires. You know, before I pulled it back, I had the amazing hair about out to here today, and I thought maybe I'll do fuzzy hair, but I decided to tame the hair today. So I'm glad that you're approving the taming of the hair. Come back next time, and boom, it'll be out there, I'm sure. And let's see here. Oh, Pocola T, that's hysterical. I like when you wear your hair up. It makes you look so fresh and alert, unlike how you might actually be feeling. Precisely. The updo. It hides everything, because let me just tell you right now, my hair was not looking good before the stream, and I kind of freaked out, but I had other things that I was trying to do before the stream because I poorly planned my day today. I absolutely paid no attention to the clock, and instead of getting the stream ready like I should have, I had my notes. See, there's the problem right there. I had all the notes of what I wanted to do, which does not equal having done it. But I knew what I was going to do today for the stream, so why do I need to set it up, right? Right. Yeah, so I wasted some time, beautiful time not wasted, with Photo Luke Hawaii, and then I realized, oh, I've got stuff to do myself. But one of the things that we were going to do today, we're not going to do today because I didn't have time. Everything else that we've got lined up today, though, is all because of the StatterBox Crew. I have the most wonderful people who watch this creation and actually help create this creation. This is all about a mutual effort. It's a chat show. Can't have a chat show without the chatters like Terry in Scotland and like Option. And Option, thank you so much, yes, for the compliment here. So yes, we have got today Cindy Krause in the house. We have today is what we've got. And our project today is basically showing off everybody else's projects. And most of everybody else belong to the StatterBox crew. So let's see here. I think the first thing we're going to watch today is a little bit, hey, PPP Bang, good to see you today. I had a feeling I might, even though on Saturday, you were like, I might not. I figured we would. Good to see you. And then it looks like Pennell in the house, subscribing as well for 17 months. I cannot flip and believe how long everything has been going on here. And so, all right. So today, you might notice that Rick and Darlene are not here because they have other places to be. But that's okay, because we're going to go visit them sort of where they're at. Darlene put together a couple different short videos, and I stitched them very poorly together. This is another example. Things would have been done better if I'd have been better at time management. So this is a very loosely stitched together project that could have been done better, but it's okay. Because remember, we're all about putting things out here before they are perfect. Because perfect gets in the way of getting stuff done. So what we are going to do is say hello to C Honda. That's what we're going to do. We also, by the way, have a clip from C Honda. Oh, yes, we do. But right now, we're going to watch a clip from Rick and Darlene. They're up in northern Wisconsin at their cabin at a place called Rock Dam. And this is roughly where they're at.
We're back up north, trying to open the place up, getting it ready for the season, spring, summer, and early fall. It's a beautiful day, blue sky, sunshine, little bit of some fly pest, but not bad. Nice day. Out on the road, just taking a little walk just down from the cabin. Very nice, very blue skies, slight breeze. It's about 67, 68. It's supposed to warm up to maybe 72 today. That's a lake without a rod and gun and fishing club. They have events here all the time. They have brat days and rock dam days, and it's a very nice little community. And across the street, what's a lake without a bar with burgers and all sorts of good things. And down the road, just at the end, is a campground, a county campground with a beach. It's a campground at the end of the road. To the right is a parking lot to park for swimmers and boaters with a boat ramp. And you can hear the noise in the background, and there goes one of the first campers. It's Thursday, just before Memorial Weekend. It's going to be packed. But it's such a pretty little lake, enough for the family to have fun. Nice little seating area. There's little restrooms and little houses in which to change to your summer clothing. You can grill here. There's a little park for the kids, and there's one even little park in the campground for the kids. It's just a very nice lake. This little swing has been here forever. My grandkids run to it the first time they're up here during the season, take turns swinging on it. And here's where the beach area is. So nice. There's a sandy beach even. They keep it level. They try and keep it maintained, which is most of the time pretty good. There's trees to sit in under the shade and just enjoy the weather and enjoy the water. But it's too cold now to swim. I ain't planning on getting in there this week.
All right, so that is where Darlene and Rick are at. Yes, C Honda, this is right near Rick and Darlene's cabin. I don't think Darlene got the cabin that they're in the video, and that's fine. Nobody needs to go stalking them, but it is, but if you want to, it is in northern Wisconsin, and it's a campground, I guess, called the Rock Dam Campground, and it's a county campground, and it really does look quite lovely. I mean, I'm kind of picky. No, I'm way picky about lakes. If the lake has got smushy stuff on the bottom, I don't want to go in that lake. But that looks like it might be a nice lake, like a really nice lake. And so, I definitely would like to go check out that park and hang out at their cabin or get a camping spot. And Bacolity, Rock Dam or Dam Rock? I think it's Rock Dam. I'm not sure though. And hey, Andre, good to see you. Andre, another person who we're going to have to thank for much of the content in this show. Andre just fresh back from his trip to Seattle, and sometimes the best view of your own city is taken through a visitor's perspective. So even though Seattle is where I hang out, you're gonna get better pictures from someone who doesn't hang out here, because I take things for granted, and someone like Andre from the Bay Area coming to Seattle sees things with brand new eyes. So we've got a bunch of pictures that Andre took while he was up here in Seattle last week. So Andre, thank you so much for the visit and for generously sharing your pictures that we'll be getting to very shortly. And Terry, how far from Prell Springs is it? Well, if Rick is there, and Rick is the origin of the Prell, I would have to say that Prell Springs right now is in Rock Dam. That's right, because Rick is the origin of the Prell. And for those of you who are like, what are you even talking about? Prell? What is that? Well, Prell is a really gross shampoo from the 70s. And if you're bad on this channel, we're going to squirt some Prell on you. That's what those little green dots are in the Twitch side of the chat. I don't think the YouTube side gets to see the little green dots. And I still haven't fixed my emotes being able to come across the screen like they used to. So we will attempt to fix that sooner than later, because I like it when the Prell droplets go across my face. And so that's the origin of the Prell. And Rick was the first one that was bad, which is why he is the origin of the Prell, and he is the wellspring of Prell, as it were. And let's see here, Andre, it's like the Ghostbusters Slimer version of shampoo from a long time ago. There you go. And okay, eMusic is here, can verify that Rick and Darlene just left their area, and now they're on the road, and you're on a Zoom call. All right, eMusic, well, I will expect you to stay K until your Zoom call is over. And let's see. Oh no, Gina, you managed not to re-injure your knee. Good. Playing Beat Saber. I don't know what that is, but you were trying to improve your score at whatever it takes by whatever it takes by Imagine Dragons, and you got a series of fails before giving up and saying, I can't do this today. Don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to assume it's some kind of music-playing video game that probably sounds fun. And, by the way, Andre, thank you so much for gifting a sub to the Vampires 21. And, all right, let's see here. I think I haven't missed too many people that have come in yet. And then Ann Ware, I say that just as A Ware comes in. Good to see you, A Ware. And let's see here. See Honda coming in, and Rick is the only one who used Prell. That is true. We bullied him into using Prell once because he insisted that Prell was no different than any other shampoo, and he learned his lesson. Let me tell you, he learned his lesson. Okay, so let's see here. As promised, I would like to show you, well, you know what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm just going to show you, boop, squirrel, look at this squirrel. Such a cute little squirrel. And Andre happened to catch this cute little squirrel shot. I don't quite know where. I'm going to guess Volunteer Park, which is a park up on Capitol Hill. But he's got a fancy pants camera that's way fancier and pantsier than my cell phone camera. And so action shots of the squirrel doing a little itch, which I think is probably the cutest thing in the world. But then the little squirrel was like, oh, you caught me. Oh, you caught me. But I think that this picture is quite possibly one of my favorite pictures in the world ever. Because how often do you catch a squirrel, there scratching his little chin? And let's see here. So, Gina, I feel like there's a story there you don't know with Rick and Prell, Sheriff Ken. Well, ultimately, I guess let's see here. How the origin story is quite dull and benign. But as silly groups of people are known to do, you take something dull and benign and you beat it until it's funny. And so I think if I remember, and you guys, if you're there, if you were there, fill in the blanks. But if I remember correctly, Rick and Darlene were having an argument in the chat. It wasn't really an argument, it was just a little burr. And Rick was insistent, for whatever reason, that shampoos are all the same. And Darlene pled, whatever, to the chat, can someone please explain to Rick that all shampoos are not the same? And so then, I think I dared him to try Prell and then come back to me to tell me if all the shampoos were the same or something. And then eventually he got to be a little smart aleck about something, about being told he was wrong. And so then we were like, we're going to squirt you with Prell. And then, this was at the very beginning of the Twitch, my intro to Twitch, the Prell dot became my very first emote. And so Rick was the inspiration for the very first emote. That emote, by the way, was created by Shock. She and I tried to do a bunch of different Prell stuff. And finally she was like, why don't we just do this little green dot? And I was like, oh, dude, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful idea. And so, I think that's sort of how that worked out. Like I said, it's so benign. It's just not even, we beat it until we made it funny. Because Macola T, exactly, silly? Silly? We all resemble that remark, precisely. And Cindy Krause, speaking of silly, I'll bet you Cindy Krause's kittens were silly today. You picked up some catnip for your cats. They were hilarious. Oreo was wet from his chin to his belly from the drooling. Oh my God. So funny. Yeah, I used to have a field of catnip in my backyard, and I'm thinking about replanting some catnip. Not that I need to encourage more cats to come into my backyard, but I did enjoy having the good stuff. And let's see here. Cindy, you've only been trying to grow it and only picked 4 leaves. Oh my God, they did it with the leaves? Just wait till the actual buds come in. They will go nuts. They will go nuts. And let's see here. I think it was A Ware. Yeah. A Ware was saying that the little Prell dots, we stole them from a print ad for Prell from back in the day. It was vintage, totally vintage ad. And it was showing how little shampoo you needed because it's so strong. And it is very strong. In fact, it's so strong that apparently it's what a lot of boaters use if they're on long-term sailing voyages, because it actually will lather in salt water, whereas most shampoos don't lather in salt water. And so, for better or for worse, Prell can lather in salt water, and I'm pretty sure that that's really for worse, but it gets the job done. And Cindy Krause, catnips gets buds. You had no idea? Yes, they do. In fact, not only do they get buds that look very similar to other buds, And they have crystals that shine in the light, much like other buds. In fact, I had a Ziploc bag full of catnip on my front seat of my car, and I was driving around one night because I was going to give it to one of my friends who had a bunch of cats. And as I was driving, I realized, you know, I know that this is not illegal, but that bag on my seat really looks like it's something that's illegal. So you know what? I'm going to just hide it. Like, even though there was literally nothing to hide, I just felt like that's a mistake waiting to happen. And it was prior to legalization in Washington State. So the last thing you really want to do is look like you're smuggling a large quantity of marijuana when really it's actually just catnip. And, you know, seriously, do you really think that a cop is going to believe that? Like, no, officer, it's a bag of catnip. I know what it looks like, but just trust me, officer, it's a bag of catnip. I'm not sure. I really don't know if that would fly. I mean, they don't smell the same, but that doesn't mean that the cop would know, right? Right? And, Pinnell, oh, that's so funny. You grew catnip in a pot, your cat nibbled one leaf, and then got very high. He seemed to feel guilty. You guys, the only reason why I was able to grow catnip to such a degree, outside with all the cats around, is you have to, I had to, because my cats had no guilt. They would just eat it down to the stem, right? And so you have to put like a bird cage around it or something, you know, like a wire mesh thing around the plant that you're planting. And so that way the plant can get really established. And then that way, if the cats eat a stem or two or a branch or two, there's still more to keep growing. Because otherwise, my cats at least, they have no shame. It's just, they will eat that down to the dirt. So I think that's so cute that your cats are just like, oh no, I'm so guilty after one leaf. Oh no, one leaf, what have I done? My cats are just like, one leaf? Ah! We need more than one leaf. It's like, the kitties, if you would have let it grow, there would be more than one leaf, but you keep eating the first leaf that keeps popping out. Yeah. So, let's see here. And Andre, hops are related to pot. Yes, they are. And I think that catnip, catnip is related to mint. I'm a liar. I was going to say, I think it's related to mint too. Or catnip, but it's not. Catnip is in the mint family, but hops and cannabis are in the same family. And, you can get some hops that have THC. Does that make some strong beer? Yeah, I don't know if that's necessary. I mean, I think that would be gilding the lily, because here's the deal. As someone who's smoked pot for more than half of my life, I am now able to smoke weed and drink beer without a problem. But trust me, if you're a beginner to either beer or to weed, combining the two oftentimes is a recipe for the spins at best and the result of spins at worst, if y'all are picking up what I'm laying down. So I don't think that THC, especially edible or drinkable, ingestible, would be a very good idea. That doesn't mean it hasn't already been done. I'm sure it has. I'm just saying that as an experienced imbiber of both, I wouldn't touch that stuff with a 10-foot pole. Option, I wouldn't say laying down, nor would I say throwing down. I would say more like throwing up. You get the spins and you get the vomits. And sometimes that's what happens when you combine the THCs and the beers, unless you are experienced. We're using the term experienced very loosely, okay? Like some people would say, have a problem with it, addicted to, whatever. We're using the term experienced here. Yes, throwing up, Gina, is what we are saying. And so, and by the way, you guys, pro tip from my sister, younger sister, who I wish I would have known this in my spins days. Apparently, laying down when you have the spins is like the worst thing you can do. When you have the spins, just keep walking. Walking is your friend when you have the spins. Gina, you've never tried them? Okay, I don't know what you were talking about there. I thought you meant never had them, as opposed meaning never had the spins. Good for you. But just so you know, you guys, pro tip from my sister. If you get the spins, don't lay down. That only makes them worse. Just keep walking. Just keep walking. And even though I've never tried it, because I learned that after I went through my spins phase, I do know that laying down makes it worse. Walking can't make it any worse. Oh, Pagalolo and ingestibles. Got it. That's what you've not tried. Well, let me just tell you right now, Gina. If you're drinking beer or anything, don't try any Pagalolo, THC, edibles, smokables, whatever. Just don't. That will be a recipe for spins. And spins are like not good. And so if you do decide one day that you would like to, be adventurous and try some things and stuff, come at it with a clean slate. That is very important. And yes, Bacola tea, exactly. Sort of like don't go below deck if you're seasick. Stay above and watch the horizon instead. Yeah, exactly. It's just going to make it worse. And even though it doesn't seem like it's a good idea, and it's the exact opposite of what you think you really want to do, don't go below deck. Stay up top. Don't go lay down on your bed. Keep walking. Elaine, keep walking. I'd still be on the ground spinning. Fair enough. Fair enough. Some of us have been there with you. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to point fingers. Okay, I might point fingers. So, let's see here. Andre, yep, laying down is the worst thing with the spins, and standing up with the spins is at least easier to clean up if you fail the spin test. There you go. And Terry, all right, so coming in with the science of the nips. So we've got a feline attractant called nepetal acetone. Sure. And some other species with the genus of Nepeta are known for their behavioral effects on the cat family, not only for domestic cats, but also other species. Tests showed that leopards, cougars, servals, and lynxes often reacted strongly to catnip in a manner similar to domestic cats. Lions and tigers may react strongly as well, but they do not react consistently in the same fashion. Well, actually, not all cats, domestic, really seem to respond to catnip either. So I wonder what it is about, I wonder if whatever genetic thing in cats that don't, I guess I wonder why some cats it's like that, some cats it's not. Like, is there a little gene thing, and do the lions and the tigers have that same gene quirk as the ones who don't? Yeah, Terry in Scotland, I thought it was 1/3 of cats have no reaction. Yeah, and as a general rule, kittens generally don't respond to catnip either, from what I have experienced and from what I've read. Hey, Praytik, good to see you. Where are you at today? And Cindy, so if you made catnip tea, it could cause a physical reaction? I don't know. Oh, wait, hold on. Terry's saying more over catnip has a history of use in traditional medicine for a variety of ailments such as stomach cramps, indigestion, fevers, hives, and nervous conditions. The plant has been consumed as a tisane, I don't know what that is, a juice, a tincture, an infusion, or poultice, and has also been smoked. I'm not at all surprised that it's been smoked. Like I said, dudes, seriously, it looks like weed. I can see why, people might accidentally smoke it or accidentally smoke it on purpose, so to speak. And hey, Poppy Shaney, good to see you. Right now, we are talking about the various and assorted effects of catnip on both people and critters. So, some cats don't do anything with the nips. 1/3 of them, apparently. And apparently, people can do the nips and feel some things and stuff. And so, see, Honda, most of your cats didn't care about catnip, but this cat loves when you have a mint in your mouth. Well, catnip and mint are in the same family. And Picola T, your cats are like, oh, nip, that's so boring. Yeah, my cats have pretty much all loved the nip. Some of them more so than others. I had one cat who would kind of get violent in the sense that if he smelled it, and he could smell it from far away, and he knew you had it, there was no gentleness in his need, want, and taking of the nip. So, like, if you had, some nip in your hand, he would happily and easily claw and bite your hand just to get to the nip, even though he would, under normal circumstances, never claw or bite a hand. It would be absolutely antithetical for this gentle cat to be violent. But the moment he smelled the nip, he literally, you could see it. His eyes would he would lose his mind. His nose would twitch. His pupils would get wide. He would lose his flippin' mind, and he must have the nip. He would eat the nip. He would snort the nip. He would rub the nip. He would drool the nip. He was a full-on nip freak. He was a nip head, man. He was a cat nip head. And, exactly, Andre. Nothing worse than a mean addict, even in the cat world. Yeah, there was no sharing with him. He was just... Terry in Scotland, if I start hopping around and giggling, I might have indulged in a catnip doobie. Maybe, honestly, I've actually never tried... As much as I've noticed, like, God, it really does look like weed. I've actually never tried it. I mean, I have, smelled it, of course. But no, I've never done a catnip doobie. And honestly, I hope that I don't knowingly ever do a catnip doobie. I don't ever want to be that desperate. I don't know. And let's see here, Cindy Krause, Oreo was in quite a state over the fresh catnip, rolled on it, then walked away, flipped back around, started rolling on it again, drooling the whole time. Precisely. Isn't it so funny how when cats get so excited, they just lose control and just drool all over the place? It's so gross, actually, but at the same time, it's really cute just to see the little drips. And yeah, exactly, Andre. Hi, I'm a cat. I'm a catnip addict. First meeting of Catnip Anonymous. Yes, exactly. So let's see here. Oh, really, Gina? So you've had calming tea blends that had catnip in them and you found it nice. Well, actually, I wouldn't be opposed to maybe drinking a tea blend, with it. But the idea of smoking it seems like it would be really harsh on the lungs, which... I understand, as someone who smokes weed on other occasions, who am I to say what's good for the lungs? It is time for the infamous pointing and laughing emote, without a doubt. Yes, point and laugh at that statement. But it just seems like it would be harsh on my lungs. My pristine lungs. Okay, maybe not that pristine. Picola Tea with smoking a catnip doobie make me cough up hairballs. I don't know. It's possible. I'll tell you what, with my hair getting as long as it is, I've been finding hair and strands of hair everywhere. So who knows how much hair I eat in my sleep. Maybe I do need to smoke a catnip doobie so I can cough all that hairball up. And so let's see here. And Cindy, you only heard catnip rumors. The other two cats did a couple rolls in it and then just walked away. Right, yeah, because they were just like, I guess. I guess. And the other cat's just like, that's right, you guess, I know, so the rest of it's for me. That would have been my cat. She's like, okay, you go guess over there. The rest of this is for me. It's gonna eat it up, roll it up, snort it up. I don't know how the cats managed to... Anyway, they do. They snort the catnip. They seem to snort it, which to me seems like a very bad plan. But that's their choice. That is their choice. So, okay. All right. What do we got here? We have got a couple things here. And, what we have, and then, what we've got here is, here actually. Here is, wait, what do we want to do? Oh, I know what we're going to do. Okay, here's a video that Andre took, and it's not of a cat, and it's not of catnip, but it's of an eagle that wanted to be noisy. So, with his fancy pants camera and his fancy pants lens and his everything, here is another piece of video, thanks to Andre, who is in the chat right now. So this is a Seattle waterfront. I'm going to say West Seattle waterfront, but I'm just guessing. West Seattle waterfront eagle making lots of noise. Yeah, I don't know what kind of technology Andre was working with, but that was a shot that you're never going to get from me, because I don't got the material. I don't have the nothing to get that. So yeah, that was like a full-blown nature shot thanks to our very own Andre. And yes, apparently he did. Yeah, Andre did tell me the story earlier, but you got it right there. The ravens were making... Actually, it was the crows, not the ravens. Those were crow calls. The crows were making fun of that eagle, because apparently the eagle went in, grabbed the fish, and then somehow dropped the fish. But it looked like, though, he was still on top of the fish. He went and got the fish again, right? It looked like he was still standing on top of what I'm going to assume was a flounder. And so yeah, beautiful, beautiful shot. And so while we're looking at those, okay, so that was a video, right? But here we go. But here is a series of photographs that that Andre took. Now these are the beach birds, so to speak. So various and assorted. Okay, not all of them are, I guess. Not all the birds are beach birds, but here's some pictures of some amazing birds that Andre took while he was here in Seattle. Oh, that's not the... Hold on. Okay, that's not a bird. Neither is that. Hold on. Boop. Here, that's not a seabird, but that's okay. It's a little sparrow. It's a little sparrow with a little fluff. And here we've got ourselves a gorgeous great blue heron. Great blue herons like to hang out in the Puget Sound. And then that's another lovely picture of the great blue heron. Beautiful still waters. Great luck of the great shots. Now there is the eagle making more noises. And look at all that seaweed on the beach. It's so tempting to want to eat that seaweed, but let me just tell you right now, I would never eat that seaweed, and you should not either. It is just off of one of the most polluted waterways in the state of Washington. So as wonderful and luxurious and abundant as that seaweed looks, don't eat it. And then here's our little crow, one of the crows. And then of course here is the little sparrow with some fluff in his little mouth. I'm gonna assume he was maybe making a nest, but I don't really know. So So there we have that. Those are just some of the pictures that Andre took up here in Seattle, and I will be sharing more pictures of different things and stuff later on in the stream. But right now, Terry in Scotland saying you once saw a video of a bald eagle snatching a fish from a lake, and then it flies down low and the fish plucks a worm out of the ground. Oh my God, that is insane. So I guess that was really nice of the fish to make sure that it was extra full for the eagle. Here, let me fatten you up. I'm going to fatten myself up, and then you can fatten yourself up. And see, Honda, do we have ravens here too? Yes and no. There is an occasional raven that hangs out in a very specific park in Burien, but it is very rare. For the most part, the ravens are not in urban areas. As a general rule, crows stick to the urban areas and ravens stick to the rural, more woodland areas. So if you go on I-90 up east into the mountains, like maybe a half an hour, oh dude, you'll see ravens everywhere. If you go out to the Olympic Peninsula, you'll see ravens everywhere. But in the Puget Sound, I-5 corridor, urban metropolis, it's 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, you're gonna see crows, not ravens. And so, and it's very difficult to tell them apart unless you know what they sound like, or if they're in flight. If they're in flight and you see that the tail is diamond shaped, then it is a raven. If it's in flight and the tail is triangular shaped or more square, it's a crow. But other than those like two ways, very, very hard to tell them apart, because even though the size differential between the two is quite big, sometimes it's hard to get scale on just how big of a bird you're looking at is. And so unless they're really close to you so you can actually see how big they are, because ravens are noticeably bigger than crows. And crows can get to be big, but ravens are bigger. And they have a much deeper, raspier call than the crows. Oh yeah, ravens, at least in my area, the ravens have black beaks too. Yeah, the ravens and the American crows look very, very similar. Like I said, it's really a size thing, a sound thing, and the shape of the tail thing is kind of the only way you can really tell them apart, because otherwise, the shape of their beak, the color of their feathers, their body structure is they're so similarly built, that it really, even experts, it's just like, well, I got to see their tail in flight, or I got to hear them before even, like experts are going to identify. And so the only reason why I was able to potentially properly guess the identity of the birds that were laughing at the eagle in that video was because A, they sounded like crows, and B, in that stretch of beach, ravens are virtually unheard of. They're just, it's crow territory. So Honda, yeah, I don't know if you would have ever seen a raven. Ravens are, like I said, way more rural, and I don't even know if ravens are in your part of the country. On the other hand, ravens and American crows kind of are everywhere. So, and Terry in Scotland, I have never heard a real life raven say nevermore. No, I have never had. But I can tell you this, with the way the raven's throat, voice, vocals sound, I couldn't think of a more Edgar Allan Poe thing for a raven to say other than nevermore. I mean, it really, he picked a very good word for someone to get freaked out by a raven. Yep. And Gina, pretty sure they're in Baltimore. I don't know about Baltimore city, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Maryland's got a lot of you know, estuaries and not wood life, water line, etc. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some undeveloped enough parts for ravens just be like, yeah, man, we got ourselves a good forest here. And so, let's see here. Oh, she was referring to the football team. See, woo, right over the head. Wouldn't even know. Sports ball, I'm so clueless. Thanks, Nicola T. See, okay, now, you guys, there should be more pointing and laughing emotes, because that was sort of silly. Of me. Alright, well, now that I feel foolish, not really, I'm going to show you some more impressive things. Here's a couple pictures that were just super cute that Andre took, and it's a picture of seals. Boop. We got a little seal. Look at the little harbor seal. Hi, I'm a harbor seal. Look at my nose. You want to boop my snoot? Oh, I want to boop his snoot. Look at the little nose. He's all sleeping or something. And so yep, that's a little harbor seal, and I have no idea where Andre was when he got that picture, but I do know that he was somewhere on the Puget Sound. And yeah, exactly, Picolti, I'm a seal, don't eat me. Okay, thanks, bye. And let's see here. Anne, where did you, excuse me, Anne, God, forgive me. Where? You boops it. All right. Okay, Andre, you're at Seahurst Park. That definitely stands to reason. Now, oh gosh, you know what, Andre? That eagle was at Seahurst Park too, wasn't it? If that eagle was at Seahurst Park, that might have been ravens, although it didn't sound like ravens, but it might have been ravens, because Seahurst Park definitely has the potential to have ravens. I, for some reason, was thinking you were further north, closer to Alki, which has no ravens. So okay, the eagle might have been made fun of the ravens, but it sounded more like crows to me. Let's see here. Gina, now this is so silly. I had no idea that Edgar Allan Poe I didn't know that Edgar Allan Poe was an American, let alone buried in Baltimore. I, for some reason, thought Edgar Allan Poe was British. So I'm learning a lot. I'm really learning a lot today. Okay, so he's not British, and he's actually buried in Baltimore. Fantastic. Picola T, yeah, the water was beautiful. The water was absolutely beautiful in these pics, and let's see here. So Gina's, yeah, he of Irish descent perhaps, and he died in the gutter of Baltimore. I'm assuming that Baltimore has more than one gutter, Andre. I'm gonna assume it has more than one gutter, but yeah, okay. So here's the seals. Let's see here. We got the beach birds. Okay. So here is some more random Seattle from Andre. And now we're going to look at that piece of art. And here we go. Pioneer Square. One of the oldest sections, the oldest section of Seattle that's still standing. And consequently, our oldest buildings are there. Gina, you speak the truth about more than one gutter. Yeah. And, of course, the iconic spacing of the needles. And I'm going to assume that this was Pioneer Square / International District, because that's what it looks like. Oh, this one's Belltown? Okay. This is not Belltown. This is Pioneer Square, Occidental Park. And, let's see here. And then this one, I believe, I can't remember where that one is, so I'm not going to tell you. I think it's near Pioneer Square at the fire department. And that obviously is some sort of native sculpture. I do not know what tribe. I do not know if it was a local tribe that created it. Seattle has a history of stealing totem poles and putting them up in their town, even though they had no business doing it. So that piece of artwork that is clearly native might actually not be a local tribe's piece of work. So yeah, there's that. And let's see here. Oh no, the one with the Augusta Bell thing on the building was in Belltown. Well, shoot, gosh darn heck fork, why would that be in Belltown? The Bell building in Belltown? The Bell building in Belltown. That's the strangest thing I've ever heard in my life. Except for it might make sense. Yeah. And then, yeah, the sculpture was in the Pioneer Square area. I did know that. I just don't know how, like, local it really is from. Like, this piece of art, I cannot tell you, like, oh yes, this is Duwamish art, and Duwamish is the tribe that, this, Chief Sealth was from, and that's where the town was named after. Like, the city of Seattle has such a bad history of stealing native art and erecting it in their own town. So it could have been from Alaska. It could have been from British Columbia. It could have been from a lot of places. It might not have been a local Salish piece, I guess is what I'm saying. And so let's see here. Wow, Thomas the Turtle, you were at the Seattle World's Fair in 1962, and as a child, that is so awesome, dude. That is amazing. And but Terry in Scotland, to get back to the Poe man, he was an American writer, okay, known for his mysteries and the macabre, and widely regarded as a central figure of romanticism in the United States and of American literature. He was one of the country's earliest practitioners of the short story and is considered the inventor of the detective fiction genre. Really? Wow, I had no idea. I guess there's okay, I had no idea he was American, let alone buried in Baltimore. Why would I have known that he was the father of the detective genre of fiction? But that's pretty crazy. I mean, like, he did more in his first 40 years than I've done in his first 40 years. Like, there was another 40 years after that. Yeah, wow, he was quite prolific. Good for him. Maybe he was done. That's why he was done at 40. But yeah, 40. All right. No, I didn't know that he died at 40 either. For some reason, and I know that this is like anybody who knows anything about anything is going to shake their head in shame, and then they're going to leave this stream because, oh God, are you serious? I get Edgar Allan Poe and Oscar Wilde mixed up in my head all the time. I mean, I know. I know. Edgar Allan Poe. Oscar Wilde. What about that? I don't know. But I get them mixed up in my head a lot. And Cindy Krause, he really liked alliteration, deep, dark, dank dungeons. I'm a big fan of alliterations. And, oh, they're both Irish? Well, there we go. That's why I got them. I didn't know either of them was Irish, but that must be why I got them confused. Pussycat, good to see you. I thought of you last night. I came home super late, later than usually, like 10 o'clock at night. Came home from work. Walked in my house, and there was no kitties. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Then I was like, well, I guess, it is later, and they're maybe all chumped that I didn't get them wet food at their usual time, so they're all out in the backyard. So, close the front door, and then do whatever, and come back into the living room. And who is front and center, just waiting for loves, climbing down off of the cat tree, like he owns the place? That's right, Leo. Leo was there waiting for me at home. My cats, they were just like, screw that lady. She's not here to feed us. Leo's just like, hey, good to see you. I've got an ear here. You know what to do. So, yeah. So there you go. My cats were never to be found. Well, no, I found them. But yeah, it was Leo who was the one who greeted me at the front door. Leo never greets me at the front door, but he did yesterday. So I wanted to report that to you. That's right. That's your boy, Leo. That's your boy. And okay, Gina, you're making me feel better. Oscar Wilde wrote some weird and macabre stuff too. Ever read Picture of Dorian Gray? No, I did not. But I have heard of that, and I'm very glad to know that even though I'm wildly wrong about, obviously, Oscar Wilde and Edgar Allan Poe being the same person, at least there's a method to the madness. At least I'm not completely insane. Just a little bit. And, let's see here. Terry giving us a little bit more details. October 3rd, 1849, Poe is found semi-conscious in Baltimore in great distress and in need of immediate assistance. According to Joseph Walker, who found him, he was taken to the medical college where he died a couple days later. All right, that's, well, so he didn't technically die in the gutter. Technically. And so, let's see here. Okay, so eMusic has read Dorian Gray, and Gina's just like, the book broke me. All right, now I'm very curious. And Terry explains, Poe was not coherent long enough to explain how he came to be in his dire condition and why he was wearing clothes that were not his own. He is said to have repeatedly called out the name Reynolds on the night before his death, though it's unclear to whom he was referring. His attending physician said that Poe's final words were, "Lord, help my poor soul." Huh. So he died with a bit of a mystery surrounding him, eh? Who is this Reynolds figure? Was he fond of tinfoil or plastic? Who knows? And, Pussycat, you missed the first hour. You thought it started later. I thought it started later than I did. Pussycat, that's because you're using logic. And you're on a schedule that makes sense. That's not going to work with me. Okay? No logic here. No making sense here. No, actually, on Wednesdays, I know that this is really inconvenient to remember, to deal with. In fact, I forget myself that on Wednesdays we start at 4. But no, Wednesdays we start at 4. I have trouble remembering that, which is why I mismanage my time on Wednesday and end up with a show that isn't quite right. And there we go, Picola T, coming in with a joke that I was trying so desperately to make, but you definitely came in better. When Poe died, it was a wrap. That's it. That is it. That is the punchline right there. And right now we're talking about Edgar Allan Poe, because I admitted that I didn't know that Edgar Allan Poe was an American. I thought he was a British dude. And as it turns out, he wasn't even British, he was Irish. But I thought he was from England. From over there, not from here. But apparently he's from here. And he died here. And he's buried here. And by here, I mean Baltimore, not here where I'm at. Where is he? Do you hear that beating heart under my floor? Ticking under the floorboard? Can you hear that beating heart? Suddenly I have a real fear that what I just alluded to wasn't an Edgar Allan Poe story. Yeah, see, that's how much I know about Poe. All right, then. Oh, I was right. Okay. Thank goodness. I was just like, I'm picturing a diorama that I had to make when I was in 6th grade. Yes, the Telltale Heart. Okay, cool. I couldn't remember what the title of the book was or the story was, but I do remember, I mean, I might not have been in 6th grade. I think I was in 6th grade. I do remember making a little, a shoebox diorama of a scene from that. Right, yeah, exactly, Gina. It might have been 7th grade. For some reason, I'm envisioning... Yeah, it might have been 7th grade. Who's to say? But yeah, that era. That era. So... Okay, so now, on with more pictures of Seattle. All right, you guys. A long time ago, and I don't expect any of you to remember this because I'm not sure any of you would have been here for this, but this is a very random callback from multiple years ago. On one of my streams, I was talking about how different art collectives go around different cities' manhole covers and they like ink them up and then create pressings, prints of the manhole covers, because the manhole cover, it's like manhole covers, why would you do that? That's stupid. But some cities' manhole covers are actually really flippin' cool. And I have always wanted to make a print out of this cover. As it turns out, Andre got a picture of it. So, Seattle City Light in various and assorted parts of town. I know there's one in Belltown, and this one might have been in Belltown that Andre took the picture of. But this particular one, no, actually, you know what? This one isn't the one I'm thinking of. But this one, I want a pressing of this. So some of the manhole covers are apps. Yeah. So Seattle manhole covers. Some of them are super, super awesome. And also, it's kind of neat when you're like walking down the street and you see the different ones of different eras. Because like the older ones in my part of town, are the Bell Company manhole covers, and they've got this like art deco design that's really kind of neat. But then we've got this native art manhole cover for Seattle City Light, and there's a couple different designs with the salmons and the whales that they use on those. And then another thing, and I'm sure Piccola T, you've got to have noticed this. If you're in the Pioneer Square area of Seattle and you're walking on the sidewalks and you like look down at the sidewalks and there's a bunch of purple glass built into the sidewalk square and you're like, what? That's actually a skylight that you're walking on. And it's a skylight to the Seattle Underground. And so look, so if you're walking on the purple glass looking sidewalk, and by the way, it's not like you're walking on glass. It's very sturdy. You wouldn't even really notice that it's a skylight unless you knew it was a skylight because the glass is so thick. But yeah, if you ever see panels of sidewalks in the Pioneer Square area of Seattle that have the purple glass embedded in them, that is exactly what you're looking at, is a skylight to the Seattle Underground. Because back in the day, Seattle had a big fire and this, that, and the other thing. And so they had to build a city on top of another city. And for a while, both levels were working. So, and Gina, yeah, no, I can see why you would think it would make you nervous, but like I said, you wouldn't know, like, okay, first off, sidewalk panels are what, like, let's just say 3 feet by 3 feet. The little glass squares are about this big. So you've got a glass square, then you've got cement, you've got a glass square, you've got cement, you've got a glass square, you've got cement, and it's just sort of a checkerboard pattern of cement, glass, cement, glass, cement, glass. And it's super thick. Like I said, if you didn't know it was a skylight, you would just think it's purple glass embedded into the concrete. Because it's scuffed so badly, you can't see through it. You can't see down. And when you're down under, you can't like look up people's skirts or anything. It just lets ambient light go through. So you wouldn't know to be scared, I guess, other than what I just told you. And then another reason why you might want to look at the sidewalks when you're walking around Seattle is up on Capitol Hill, and why they did this I do not know. But up on Capitol Hill on Broadway, embedded into the sidewalks, is dance lessons. What? Yeah, you heard me. Dance lessons. Dance lessons. You remember how, if you're learning to dance, like they've got the little shoe prints, and it's, you start your shoes here, and then your step 1 and your step 2, you've got your lady shoes and your man shoe prints. And they've got the diagram of, you start here, and then you step here, and then step here, and then blah, 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 blah. If that makes any sense, which it shouldn't, but I hope it does. There's dance lessons. You can learn how to do different dances on the sidewalk in Capitol Hill. I'll have to get a picture of what it is I'm talking about, because what I just said makes little to no sense. Okay, Andre, you didn't see them, but you saw a picture of it. So Andre can vaguely support what I'm saying, even though... Okay, so Andre, you know what I'm talking about. So how would you describe other than the phrase, their dance lessons in the sidewalk? How would you describe their dance diagrams, I guess? Their dance diagrams? Of where, it's like where you're supposed to put your feet when you're doing the dance. Dance steps. Okay, there we go. That'll work. Pocolity, let's go with that. So, back in the day when you would take lessons, sometimes they would have the little imprints on the floor to help you learn where to do your do's. Well, they've got those in the, yes, exactly, Andre. It's like the Murray dance diagrams. There we go. The dance diagrams that they have at dance schools. Yeah, and for whatever reason, which to this day I do not know, but for whatever reason on Capitol Hill, there's several different spots on the sidewalks along Broadway, both sides of the street, where you can learn how to dance. Where? Exactly, you get it. The shoe silhouettes that show the dance steps. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. Exactly. And Terry in Scotland, how many dances and which ones? I can specifically remember 2, but I think there's 3, and I want to say that the rumba is one of them. But it sounds as though I might have to actually go down a rabbit hole, and we're gonna maybe talk about this again on Chatter with Statter, because yeah. Oh, and Andre, yeah, it was Capitol Hill Pride Festival, so you were in no position there was a lot more going on than just the dance steps on the floor or on the sidewalk. So yeah, I can totally appreciate why you maybe didn't pick up on those. Because yeah, it could have been covered with a tent, a booth, a table, a whatever. Yeah, a lot was going on that weekend on Capitol Hill. And and Gina, you've seen videos of the transparent skywalk over the Grand Canyon, and that scares me a lot. Gina, I am 1,110% with you on that. And I've seen the stupid one in China that is a fake, that does the little fake cracking. That makes me so angry. It gives me anxiety just watching it. I know that it's fake cracks. I know that it's fake, and I still see it happening. And I see it happening to somebody that's not me, and still I get a little bit uptight and hyperventilate. And as you can tell, I'm already agitated just talking about it. So we're gonna take a deep breath and go. The skylights are nothing like that in Pioneer Square, because if they were, I wouldn't have walked on them either. And that's that. And let's see here. Pocola T, you stepped onto the glass ledge at Willis Tower in Chicago. You were shaking and nearly in tears afterwards. Hubby took me to get a drink later. Woo. Yeah, you know, I mean, our lizard brain, our primal survival instinct, when it kicks into gear and it thinks that there is danger, I mean, some people obviously have way more control over it than others, but when it rears its ugly head, or good head, I guess, into survival mode, yeah, emotions, for sure. Let's see here. Cindy, you walked on that see-through walk over the Grand Canyon, but not to the edge, because boy, it's really scary. Yeah, I don't. No, no. And let's see here, Andre. When I was a bit lost on Capitol Hill, easy to do, and I want to find my way back to Broadway, I just listened to the techno beat from the Gay Pride Festival, and I was back on track. Just follow the techno. Follow the techno. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And, okay, you guys, so, let's see here. Where else? Oh, no. Huh. Hold on. So, I'm very confused. So, wait. Did we see this? I don't think... Hold on, you guys. I want to show you a picture, but I'm not sure I have this picture. So, hold on. I want to... We already saw, I think, all these pictures. Okay, shoot. Oh, gall dung it. Gall dung it. I had another set of pictures that I wanted to show you guys, but I'm thinking I did not upload it. Okay, that's too bad. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a Lono Listening Break, because I believe I can find the pictures that I want to show you during that break. How's that for a segue?
But I know what they want. Play the kind of music, then they tell me turn it up. I believe in love. Yes, I believe it. I believe in love. I believe in you. Yes, I believe in love. Yeah, I believe in someone who could make you do all sorts of funny things. She goes out to buy brand new cars and diamond rings, but I know what she wants. Play her kind of music, then she tells me turn it up. I believe in love. Yes, I believe it. I believe in love.
All right, there we have it. As most of you know, I did not make that video. That video was made by Andy Bumatai, who we will hopefully be joining shortly for the Daily Pigeon Live podcast later on this afternoon. But that Lono tune, if you want to download it from lonomusic.com, is available on 2 different downloads. It's available on Radio Kihei, and it's also available on Maui Looks Beautiful from Molokai. So go visit our friend Lono and go visit his website to download the music that we hear on this stream. As most of you know, all this music is provided by Lono Music, and so we're very thankful for his sponsorship and support of this particular stream and so many other streams out there. As someone who, unless you're a content creator, you might not really understand how difficult it is to get music for your productions that don't get copyright struck or that you don't have to pay extra for. And Lono is extraordinarily generous. He basically lends out his entire catalog to people like Photo Luke Hawaii, people like Brada Bruce, people like C Honda, people like Mad Statter, people like Andy Bumatai. I know I am missing other people that he has donated his music to. Super generous. Obviously, if you are a content creator and you're looking to use Lono's music, you want to get his permission first, but he is extraordinarily generous, and since he owns the rights to all of his music, unless, because he's given you permission, you will not get copyright struck for for most of his productions. Now, when he does music that is a cover that he had to buy the rights for in order to put on an album, like for instance on Old Style 9, Gold Style, he does a version of Elvis's Can't Help Falling in Love with You, or whatever it's called. So whenever I play that song on my stream, I get copyright struck. So, you know, there's some things that might get you copyright struck, but as far as Lono's original music, all of it's going to be free and clear of copyright strikes, because if he has given you permission, he's the one who owns the rights. So there you have it. And then Pussycat. Yes, also, if you want to see more about Lono or more about Molokai, or just hear more Lono music, Molokai Matt is an amazing YouTube creator. He's a filmmaker. In fact, I've featured one of his films called Sons of Halava on StatterBox at the Cinema. In fact, we should probably revisit that one day. It's a short hour-long video documentary, beautiful story. And yeah, Molokai Matt, he makes some of the most boring topics really interesting. For instance, he had a documentary about the water supply of Molokai and the water system and all the pipes and how they move the water through the island. I found it fascinating. And I mean, like, who gives a flying fork about water distribution? Well, apparently I do. Because that, I was enthralled the whole, you know, I think it was only like a half an hour documentary, but I was just, it was like a nail biter the whole through. I paid so much attention. Yeah, it's a great channel, Pussycat. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, to go backwards just a smidge, with Prell mentioning looking down through the glass floor, etc., etc. I don't know what building it is. I saw this on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Jimmy Kimmel made his, Guillermo, his sidekick, made him do this, but apparently there is a building in Los Angeles. I don't know what building it is. There's a building in Los Angeles that has a plexiglass slide that goes out of the building over the sidewalk from one floor to another. From like the 34th floor to the 33rd floor or something insane like that. It's a plexiglass slide, see-through, and you go over the sidewalk. Yeah. So if all y'all in LA want to go cry, Los Angeles has one of those see-through floors too, only they one-upped us. It's not a see-through floor. It's a flippin' see-through slide. And yeah, exactly. Nope. Big nope on the slide. For sure. And you know, I want to say, and I definitely don't know what I'm talking about here, but I want to say that the Space Needle has some plexiglass action in some of their visitor deck areas. And once again, no. 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 But here were the pictures that I had intended to upload from Andre, and we will go through these pictures and talk about a little bit, and then we'll be wrapping everything up. So yeah, exactly, Pussycat. I can't do high places. Cindy Krause. Heights are not your thing. Only exception is an elevator. Well, yeah, because elevators are enclosed. Like those glass elevators, I don't want to be there. Nope. All you felt when you got to the top of the Eiffel Tower was that you wanted to throw something off of it. That sounds dangerous, dude, but I can definitely see the urge. I can. You shouldn't do that, but I can see how you'd want to. Yeah, Pussycat, I get vertigo too. It's very strange. It's like, why is this all of a sudden? Why am I dizzy all of a sudden? Why is standing still someplace so different than standing still some other place? I don't know, but yeah, vertigo, totally. So you guys, these are some pictures. Hold on, let's go to the next one. All right, so, these are some pictures that Andre took when he was up on Capitol Hill. Up on Capitol Hill, we have the Seattle Asian Art Museum, and the Volunteer Park Conservatory. And so it's been so long, I don't remember which pictures are from which spots exactly, although this is obviously from the park. And this sculpture right here, if you are familiar with a band out of Seattle called Soundgarden, they have a song called Black Hole Sun. And that is what this sculpture is. It's the Black Hole Sun. So, little fun fact for Seattle music scene, stirs, etc., etc. Their hit, Black Hole Sun, was named after that particular sculpture at Volunteer Park on Capitol Hill. And it's a beautiful old park, very hoity-toity part of the neighborhood. And I'm very glad that Andre got a chance to experience it, because that part of Seattle is very different than West Seattle or and the other areas that he had spent most of his time in. So even though, and Andre, okay, you keep calling it Black Hole Sun, but it's just called Black Sun. True, but everybody, I mean, it's referred to as Black Hole Sun. I mean, you can see why we call it that, right? You know, I mean, I know that the artist had a whole different idea, but you can see why we call it that, right? And so let's see here. Pussycat, oh no, it happened to you at the Daytona International Speedway grandstand. You were in the tower against the glass and it felt weird. I bet. And those speedways are so huge. I can see how if you were at the top, yeah, it's totally mind-blowing experience. And yes, exactly. Andre made sure to line himself up for that perfect shot, which is when you can see the Space Needle right through that black hole sun, as it were. And so lovely little Seattle Park, Seattle scenes, basically, a little background behind the Seattle scenes. You got the little water reservoir, you got yourself the needle lined up perfectly to the black hole sun, and there you have it. And I believe, Andre, did you go into the museum? Because that's looking like that was an inside shot of the Asian Museum, as does that one look like an inside shot. Great museum, by the way. If you guys ever do get a chance to spend some time up in Seattle, the Seattle Art Museum, which is closer to Pike Place Market, lovely place. But honestly, of the two museums, I prefer the Asian Art Museum up on Capitol Hill. So that's just me, right? Right. And all right, so Pussycat, yes, we do have a lot of public art. In fact, there's several pictures of public art that Andre took at the Seattle Center that I did not share today. And we actually have an entire sculpture park where it's nothing but, it's public sculptures, of like giant size things. It's like, do you want to see a sculpture of a giant pencil? We've got that. Do you want to see, like, that pencil's 3 stories tall? I know, it's weird. Why do we have that? Well, we do. We have, I think it's called the Olympic Sculpture Park or something like that. It's on the north end of the waterfront at the base of Queen Anne and Denny Regrade. So, yeah, cute park. So, definitely, yeah, Seattle is definitely an art-oriented city. And then, yes, Pecola Tea also, right. Pecola Tea, bringing up another art museum that we have, which is the Chihuly Glass Museum. You're going to find that in the Seattle Center area. In fact, I believe that one's right next door to the Mopop Modern Pop Art Museum. The Modern Pop Art Museum used to be known as the Experience Music Project, which was Paul Allen's project that started out as the Jimi Hendrix Museum. The Jimi Hendrix Museum eventually evolved into a much larger project because there's only so many things, there's only so many Jimi Hendrix artifacts that you can show off in a museum. You need rotating themes and exhibits. So the Jimi Hendrix Museum turned into the Experience Music Project, which then turned into the Mopop Art Museum. Let's see here. Wait, Andre, you got a picture of that sculpture park? Oh, from West Seattle. Oh, you got a picture of this big sculpture park from West Seattle. Right. Yeah, it's right across the water from West Seattle. Exactly. And let's see here. Okay. Oh, you did, Andre, take it in there. And then you did go into the stuff. And now, Gina, are you serious? I don't know who you're asking, but I think I'm serious. Maybe. I mean, if you're asking me, I'm serious. If you're asking somebody else, well, I don't know. They could be joking. All right. So we covered not even everything that I wanted to cover today, because that's how much stuff all get to the stream. So, I am not serious. Okay. Well, that's true. Most of the time I'm not serious. That is true. But I am serious when I say I am so thankful for everything that you guys contribute. I had something from C Honda today that I was going to show off, but we ran out of time. So we are going to watch it next time. Gina, you mean about the Experience Music thing? Oh yeah, I'm 1000% serious. I'm 1000% serious. In fact, I could do an entire hour-long program on the evolution and the decades-long evolution of that Jimi Hendrix Museum and what it started out as, what it evolved to, what it changed to, but we're not going to do that. However, we will, Pecola Tea, I'll have to do a deeper dig, because see, it goes deeper than just the museum. There was this shoe store at the Seattle waterfront underneath the viaduct called Experience, and it's pretty much where all the Seattle scenesters used to get their clothes, and it was the largest Doc Martin distributor on the West Coast for a while, and that place... Anyway, yep. Anyway, we're not going to start. So, so we are 4 minutes past the bottom of the hour, which leaves us 26 minutes until 6 p.m. West Coast time. And that is when Daily Pigeon Live podcast starts. So I'm going to let all y'all go. And Pecola Tea, how about a deep dive on Hendrix or Bruce Lee? We could probably do that, especially Bruce Lee, because there's a lot of Chinatown, International District, etc., that has a lot of the histories, as it were. So, I'll see if I can put something together for that. But we are not doing that today. We got to go today because we've got we're burning daylight, guys. We've got 25 minutes until the next podcast type thing starts. And I know that you guys have things and stuff to do. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I want to thank you guys for the subs, the gift subs, the resubs, etc., etc. And I want to thank you guys for not pointing and laughing too hard at my Edgar Allan Poe stuff, ignorance. And we will see each other hopefully in about a half an hour. If not, we'll see each other on Saturday for StatterBox at the cinema. I don't know what we're gonna watch. Let's find out together. And yeah, hopefully we'll see each other on Sunday, 5 p.m. for the next Shadow of Statter. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. See you soon.